Today I'm here to show you a video on how to clean the bellows of an Airpot. Cleaning the bellows is important. It kind of caught me off guard when I was actually searching for how to clean the bellows of an Airpot, because I saw it on the instructions for Bunn that came with the Airpot, and it said to go ahead and clean out the Airpot itself and also to clean the bellows. However, there was no instructions on actually how to clean out the bellows or open it up inside the components here. So I did a search on YouTube just to make sure that I could find exactly what I needed to know on how to actually open it without breaking it, because it does look pretty delicate. And I was having a hard time finding a video. In fact, I couldn't find one. Sure, there's plenty of videos on actually how to clean the Airpot. Some are questionable, some are the way you're supposed to, based on manufacturer's instructions. And of course, a lot of it's outdated too. So I figured I'd go ahead and do a video on how to actually open up the bellows and show you how to clean it. I was kind of put off a little bit by a couple of comments I found in the forums that actually said, you don't need to clean out the bellows ever. Water doesn't get up there, coffee doesn't get up there, because it all comes through the spout and never gets in. Well, folks, I can tell you for a fact that is false. I decided to go ahead and get into the bellows myself. I'm the kind of guy that actually is very mechanically inclined, and I like to see how things work. So I decided to open up one of the bellows of one of my Airpots. Now, keep in mind, my Airpots are fairly new because we are a new business. So maybe within the past month I've used them multiple times, and I figured, all right, you're right, I'm not going to find anything in the bellows. Wrong. When I opened up one of my bellows, lo and behold, there was actually water inside of one of the clear plastic, I guess that would be the bellow itself, that helps with the air. And I was wondering, wow, I've never immersed this unit in water before. In fact, you're never supposed to immerse these in water, which is why you actually disconnect this, the bellow itself, the top, off of the Airpot when you go to clean it, to make sure you don't get any water inside of here. So when I did take mine apart, I did find water in one of them, and I actually found coffee in another. So yeah, it was a little surprising and shocking to me, but some people are like, oh, who cares? Well, I will tell you right now that if you leave water or coffee or whatever kind of liquid inside of the bellows for a period of time, it will grow to mold and mildew. And then your coffee will taste bad, maybe people will get sick. It's just not a good thing. And so, like I said, when I saw that somebody said you never have to do it, I'm going, well, wait a minute, the manufacturer's clearly saying to clean out the bellows. They're not going to say it if you don't have to do it. So let me explain a little bit of how to do this, and we'll go from there. See you soon. Let's go ahead and get started showing you how to actually clean the bellows of an Airpot. Now, this is for a Bunn Airpot. I would imagine the other Airpots are very similar, but since I have all Bunn equipment, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to use it for a Bunn Airpot. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and enjoy myself a nice lavender latte that I made a few minutes ago. If you notice, there's a little cool logo on this mug. I just picked up this mug last week. I was out in Seattle, and there is a coffee company out there called Storyville. Did enjoy a nice cup of coffee from them, and they did give me this mug for free, which is kind of cool. So all new people that were coming into their shop that would sign up online to receive their emails got a free mug. And I chose this white mug versus the darker chocolate mug, which is also really nice. What you're going to need is a flathead screwdriver. Small flathead, doesn't have to be this small, but you don't want one of those big, really fat heads. Good flathead screwdriver. And I prefer to put a rag down for any time I'm working on a work environment, make sure I'm not scratching anything, whether it's the table or the actual top of the Airpot itself. But let's go ahead and get started in pulling this lid off of the Airpot. So to show you here, when we open up the lid, you see on the back here, there's actually a nice little switch here. This switch, you just pull down on the lever here and just pull up on the lid itself, and it's as easy as that. Basically, it locks down on this little metal bar here, So it just pulls right off, and we can put the air pot to the side. And we'll go ahead and take the bellows over the top of the air pot. And what you're going to do is you're going to put it upside down right on top of your rag here. And again, this is just to protect it in case I like to try to keep all my stuff nice and clean and shiny and not get scratched up. But before we actually open it up, I want to show you how and where we're going to be opening it up from. So this is the bottom and the top of the lid itself. Now the two pieces are connected through these three brackets, or excuse me, four brackets. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So we got 1, 2, 3, and 4 here. And what we're going to do is we're going to get that screwdriver flathead close to and in between the two pieces here, the bottom lid and the top lid. I don't know if you can see if I'm spreading it apart a little bit there. And what we're going to do is we're going to basically pry it open just a little bit. And I say pry and delicately pry. We don't want to break it because you're going to do this quite often. I would imagine at least once a month or so to take a look at the bellows and clean them out at a minimum. I don't know what the recommended time is. But if you do this too often and do it incorrectly, you could break that and it could wear rather quickly, and then you'll have to get a whole new piece. Also, while we're here, I'm going to show you, I don't know if you can see down in that hole, there's a little metal piece way down there. You can kind of see it above my fingertip here. Somewhere down there. I'm trying to get the light to hit it for you. That is the spring inside the bellows, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I just wanted to give you a visual of this so that way you kind of have an idea when we put it back together what I'm actually referencing. This little grommet or seal here can easily be pulled off of here. I'm going to do that right now. Don't need to pull this apart, but I'm going to do this just to show you a little bit more of the plastic bellows itself. And maybe we can see a little bit more of that metal spring that's in there. So just imagine that hole. You see it's open, it's not sealed, and of course when this is inside of the Airpot itself, it's still not sealed. So even though if you're not submersing this unit inside of water, like in your sink or running water over top of it, just the condensation from the steam and everything itself from the coffee or water, whatever you've got in those Airpots, hot chocolate, it will actually go right up into that hole. And when it goes inside that hole, it will actually stay inside the bellows, which you'll see, and condensate inside those bellows, thus creating the moisture inside of those bellows. You don't have to submerge this to get it. So this is why I was kind of thrown off when somebody says, oh, you don't have to ever clean these out. Wrong. That's all I can say is wrong. And let's go ahead and take this apart. So I'm going to lay this down right here on the rag. And again, taking the screwdriver, the tip, putting it close to that little area right there, and I'm going to go ahead and spread them apart. Just a little bit there. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Perfect. I can put the screwdriver down because once you do two sides, it's easy to remove the other sides. Also, you want to be able to push these pieces in. Do it carefully because there's a spring in there, and slide it up. I can put this to the side. I should put this on top here, and this gives you the idea of what the bellows are. So I don't know if you can see that. I can actually see that pretty well in here. Do you see how it's yellow? That's all coffee. As I move it, slide back and forth, you see the coffee sliding around. So yes, coffee does get up in here from the condensation. So that's exactly why you need to clean it. Let me pull this up, and I can put this to the side here. I don't need this piece right now. Put that right down there. And again, this is the actual bellows part, and you can kind of see here, I don't know, see that arrow there? There's an actual letter A right there, and on the bottom, at the bottom here is actually a B. So if I turn it around, you might be able to see that B. I think you can kind of see it right there, and I'll show you what that's for too. When we put it back together, it'll show you which direction you're actually supposed to have this go in. So that's how you take apart the bellows. I'm going to go ahead and just unscrew this somehow. Let me see here. Oh, there you go. I can actually see the water right here, the coffee. See that? Look at that. All right. So I just pulled that apart right over here, and you can see just the water and the coffee sitting right inside of there. We'll go clean that out. And also this is the spring I was talking about, and this is how you'll see that piece down there. I'm going to unscrew the spring to get it outside of the bellows itself. And this is the piece right here that goes down inside that hole, so when you put it back together, you know how to put it all back in. What you want to do then is just clean the inside of this. You can run some water through there, maybe some disinfectant tabs that you use, sanitizer tabs, to clean it out and let it dry out. Another way of drying it out, I find, is just running air. So you just take an air dryer, hold it back far enough, and don't have it on real hot, but basically you're just pushing air through there to go ahead and help it dry. But you can always just let it sit there and air dry as well. Go ahead and clean these things out and put it all back together. And we're going to pause here for a second, and then I'll show you how to actually put it all back together. Alright, so what I did was I did go ahead and rinse this out. Cleaned it all out. As you can see, it's nice and clean. It's also dry. Used the hair dryer to have the air circulate inside, and of course the warm air helped to remove some of the moisture, all the moisture out of here. Do the same thing for this piece here. I'm not sure exactly. I know it's a gasket of some sort, a little one-way valve for air to come in and not go out. Pull that off. You can kind of see the little ridge, if you will. This is the top piece, and then this is the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and just wipe this out. Make sure it's nice and dry, and it is. Awesome. I'll put this back in. And again, it's a one-way valve, so that way air comes in one direction and helps it push the air through in the proper direction that this has got to go in. So as far as the spring goes, again, what we're going to just put the spring inside. Like so. I can get it in there. Excellent. And then I'm going to twist it in to get it in. And then what I'm doing is I'm going to find that little sweet spot there where that, remember I said that metal piece at the bottom of the spring went in this hole. There we go. I don't know, you probably can't see that, but that's okay. And I'm going to screw the rest of it in there. Perfect. So that way I can see the metal piece is inside of there. Everything is nice. Looks great on here, on this side. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put this back together. So that way this screws down, and not screws down, but you can see there's ridges right here. And that should snap right into place. Like that. Perfect. Just like that. So now to put this back in, we'll take the top here, or the bottom piece of the top. Now again, remember I said that there's A and B, so this is the front piece, the back piece. And eventually when I put this on, I'm going to have A and B. Let's see if you can see these. The A is lined up with A, B